Hello everybody and welcome back to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hosler and this is Phoenix's Emerge. I guess you emerge from the Phoenixes. I don't know, it's a crazy Pioneer deck. That is for sure. Look at this thing. Look, I said Phoenixes, we've got them. Rekindling Phoenix, you remember this one in Standard? Good card. How about Flamewake Phoenix? It attacks each combat if able, flying haste for 3, but if you have power of 4 greater creature under your combat, you can bring it back. So that makes sense. You get the Phoenix as part of the deck, right? We got some good cards in here, some generically strong ones. Your Brazen Borrowers, your Bonecrusher Giants, but now, allow me to take you deep. Stitchwing Skaab. For 1 and a blue and discarding 2 cards, you return it from your graveyard to battlefield tap. It's a 3/1 flyer for your trouble there. Also, Champion of Wits. This is another nice one. It ETBs. You draw, discard 2. You can also eternalize it, bring it back from your graveyard. So you're seeing some graveyard strategy here, right? We've got some graveyard interaction. Now, let me kick it up a notch, right? Elder Deep-Fiend. An emerge cost of 7. However, that means 7 minus the converted mana cost of the creature you sacrifice. And when you cast it, you get to tap up to 4 permanents. It has flash. Oh, by the way, it's a 5/6. So you figured it out. We want to sacrifice a Champion of Wits. We want to sacrifice a Stitchwing Skaab, a Rekindling Phoenix that'll come back, a Flamewake Phoenix that we can bring back. These are the things we want to feed to the fodder of the Elder Deep-Fiend here. Now, more on the graveyard. Well, we have to get things into the graveyard. That's where Lightning Axe comes into play. It's a discard outlet. Chart a course. A draw discard here. Izzet Charm, which does all kinds of things, but as a matter of fact, can draw discard. Summoner Knowledge is just a great counterspell. Here's a good one. Kozilek's Return. It's a Pyroclasm, but instant speed for 3. However, when you cast an Eldrazi creature spell with CMC 7 or greater, namely this Elder Deep-Fiend, you can exile this from your graveyard, deal 5 damage to each creature, which will kill everything, but you guessed it, the Elder Deep-Fiend. Well, I guess this you cast it resolves before this anyways, but the point is, your Elder Deep-Fiend will survive. Your Stitchwing Skaabs, your Rekindling Phoenixes, your Flamewake Phoenixes, they're all going to come back. So is the Champion of Wits. That is the deck, everybody. It is straightforward. Sanctum of Ugin here to be able to go get more Elder Deep-Fiends. You just start chaining them together. You have Wandering Fumaroles in here for the creature lands. This is a pile, all right? This is a heck of a deck in Pioneer, and I'm excited to play it. Sideboard, kind of what you expect. We got Disputes for blue decks, Aether Gust for red or green decks, Magma Sprays when you need to kill some Land War Elves or exile things, Glorybringer for those other bigger mid-range creature matchups, and a Chandra because it's uncounterable, deals some damage. As a matter of fact, we get a 15th card here. Oh, I like Glorybringer. We'll give it a shot. All right, well, everybody, Phoenix Emerge in Pioneer. I want to give credit to, it was, I mean, I can't say this, but Aegis Z, who took us to a 5-0 finish on Magic Online. So congrats to them. Thank you for putting me onto this incredible deck here for Punting Pioneer. I'm excited to play it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Let's jump into the games. All right, here we go. We are on the play, and I think we have to keep this. Look, it's 4 lands, some expensive spells, but frankly, I think that's our deck. And the Bonecrusher Giant is actually pretty nice here, right? We're on the play. Excuse me, we're on the play. The Bonecrusher Giant gives us both a turn 2 and a turn 3 play. And since our opponent is just playing a tap lane, we're not even going to get punished for this. And, you know, with in all likelihood, we can just start slamming these Rekindling Phoenixes on 4 and see if they go the distance. I mean, obviously we'll see what our opponent's up to, but this is a resilient threat. If you weren't playing back when Gruul Monsters was a thing in Standard with the Rekindling Phoenix, this card beats down pretty effectively, but it's the immunity to removal that makes it just so good. When it dies at the beginning of your upkeep, you get the Phoenix token that'll bring this back from the graveyard. And the thing is, that counts whether that happened to point removal, whether that was a board wipe, anything that didn't exile will leave this behind. And Rekindling Phoenix is really good because of that. And now look at this. You can see we basically flooded out. I'm sorry, didn't flood out here at all. Actually, I'm perfectly happy with what we have. But we did not draw a turn 3 play. But the Bonecrusher Giant getting us a little bit of value on turn 2. And now coming down on turn 3 is a beater. And look, we have a turn 4 play and a turn 5 play that are going to be strong. We also have access to the Elder Deep-Fiend, sacrificing one of the Phoenixes. And our opponent here is struggling on their mono white deck, just having to crack a clue there on turn 2. Now, we don't have the world's fastest clock. Flamewake Phoenix does probably help with that, but it is solid, right? And these Rekindling Phoenixes are going to be recursive. So if our opponent's trying to combo us or something, kill us, do something that we can't really interact with, we're going to win. Or, I'm sorry, they're going to win. But if it's anything else, I think we're going to win. Because how are they going to deal with just this parade of Phoenixes, all of which come back? Basri's Lieutenant is the answer. Strong card. Vigilance protection for multicolored. You can put a counter on creatures you control. That's a human. This is a human. I don't know if humans is a thing or not, but this is a strong one. The 4/5. I mean, in fact, as a matter of fact, it's, by itself, it's just too big for us to get through with this Bonecrusher Giant here. However, that means the Rekindling Phoenix is free to do its work. Put him down to 12. And look, just like that, we now have, what is this, nearly lethal? We have 10 points of damage, flying next turn, coming at them, another 4 on the ground. Pretty strong. As a matter of fact, well, let's see what our opponent does. But look, this is 12 points just here. So could we actually even do something crazy like play the Phoenix and then Elder Deep-Fiend it? I don't think so. We would need 7 total to do that. We won't have more than 6. Our opponent does seem a little... they didn't even want to attack with their... Look, and this is the other thing. This doesn't get brought up, but Rekindling Phoenix. I mentioned how resilient it is to removal, and I know I'm just singing the praises of this card, but hey, we drew it and it's good. It also blocks forever. If your opponent attacks with the Basri's Lieutenant, even though it has Vigilance, it's a free chump block for me. It's chump block. I get it back. It even has haste. Rekindling Phoenix just, frankly, kind of does it all. And by the way, we figured out how to draw lethal, I have to say. Let's go ahead and add some red mana here. Swing for 10 in the air with a Bonecrusher Giant shock to finish it off. No reach, right? Okay. Well, is it a Settle the Wreckage? It actually is a Settle the Wreckage. All right, well, I have to say that's horrible for us. Well, I'll tell you what. They're going to get the Rekindling Phoenixes with this. I can stomp my own Flamewake, though. Well, now we have plenty of mana. That was a good one. We will keep that in mind for future games, that's for sure. It's not the end of the world at all, really, though. Like, I mean, it's kind of bad for us. It's certainly annoying, but look, the Flamewake is in our graveyard. We can pay to bring it back very easily. Our opponent is, I guess, very slowly trying to beat us down here. I have to say, that Settle the Wreckage, though, was frankly huge. That was great for them. Make it much more difficult to win this one. Not impossible, but more difficult. We got Bonecrushers for days, I guess. Well, first thing to do, then, I guess, is probably to play this Bonecrusher so that, I think this is what I want to do. Then I get to keep open... I want to make sure that at the beginning of my combat, I have 2 creatures with power 4 or greater, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this. That way, you know, my opponent can't get it out of it with some kind of removal or whatever. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this Flamewake Phoenix properly. I would like to pay for that. I would like to bring this card back. And you know what? I'd like to attack with it. Why not? Okay, well, this game took a turn with that Settle the Wreckage. One of the few things I think that gets them out of that spot there. However, we still have a flyer. We still have creatures on board. We're ahead in the race. We have an Elder Deep-Fiend that next turn I can play. And the crazy thing is I can actually Elder Deep-Fiend away, the Flamewake Phoenix, get the Flamewake Phoenix right back. So setting up for a lethal attack next turn, I think, is the plan here. I want my opponent to tap out for something, right? Or just tap down. And then I just want to cast Elder Deep-Fiend, getting rid of my Flamewake Phoenix, use that to tap down their creatures, returning the Flamewake Phoenix and attacking for 10. That's the game plan. We'll see if it works out. It's a Vanquisher's Banner, huh? Well, that is a powerful card right there. The creatures of the Chosen type, I assuming the Chosen type was human, was. They get +1/+1, but the big part of this card is whenever you cast a creature spell, the Chosen type draw a card. Very powerful, but maybe not exactly what they want in this matchup. What they want in this matchup is blockers, and here we are. We're getting exactly what we wanted. They're casting Athalia's Lieutenant. Pumping the team, I mean, look, if we weren't about to kill him, I'd be a little concerned. This is pretty strong. I mean, they could be coming in for 12 here if they wanted. Which, as a matter of fact, they are. You know, hey, it's a good thing we... It's a good thing we actually have a trick to kill them here. Or this game would have been stolen away by that Settle the Wreckage. So, it's a pretty nice, I think, demonstration of what our deck is capable of. So, all right, we'll go ahead and cast with Emerge here. Sacrifice the Flamewake Phoenix. I need to pay 4 now. Wow, that's just so little. So easy! I tapped wrong, though. Blue. And, that'll work. Okay, so, look, I even get to use this Sanctum of Ugin here. Not that we need it. I'll tap it all. Okay. We would like to use this ability. Look at what this deck does, y'all. This is cool. We get to go get another Elder Deep-Fiend. Not that we need it. Not that we need it at all. But it is there, and now we just get to win the game here thanks to this Flamewake Phoenix. So, this was a pretty fun matchup, I gotta say. Let's move on to game 2 against Mono White. Big creatures. And that's the thing. Our opponent actually played mostly big creatures, not small ones. Glorybringer seems great here. I really don't know if we want all 3 of them, but it is very good here. The Brazen Borrower seems fine, too. The Kozilek's Return is good in the graveyard. Probably don't need the Stubborn Denial. Honestly, probably need less. Probably don't really care about Stubborn Denials at all. Elder Deep-Fiend is our big interaction piece here. I guess it's fine. I don't really know. We'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I don't know how to play this deck in Pioneer. I've never seen it before, although I do have to say I've been a fan of Elder Deep-Fiend type decks for a very long time. I think it's a really cool mechanic, Emerge. You know, it may be something of a... it's not like Magic invented the idea of sacrificing your creatures to get a bigger creature. I think Yu-Gi-Oh's been doing that for 15 years or whatever. But I really like the flavor with the Eldrazi and everything it did. I loved Eldritch Moon. I know people didn't like, in general, they didn't like the Eldrazi invading Innistrad. They felt it kind of took away from Innistrad. And I get that. That's legitimate. Although, I have to say, I just loved it for what it was. You know, Lovecraftian horror, so to speak. All right, a Knight of the White Orchid on the play, though. A little worse on the play, gotta say. Well, I guess we pass the turn. Hope our opponent plays like a Thalia's Lieutenant or something, and we just Bonecrusher Giant down the Knight of the White Orchid. Well, okay, I guess I just do it now if they're gonna... This is fine. I don't think there's anything I care about second main phase. Let's put the pressure on them, and look at that. They're actually missing a land drop, passing the turn back, so... They've got gas, but so do we. And here comes the Bonecrusher Giant to begin the beatdown. We do need to find some lands here. We can... I mean, I guess we could use the Izzet Charm to loot. Double loot, even. Draw 2, discard 2. Faithless looting, as a matter of fact. But I don't think that's probably the play. This Thalia's Lieutenant with nothing to put a counter on, though. That's just a sad one, all right? I feel bad for you, friend. All right, there's our land. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to deal 2 damage to this thing. You don't let a Thalia's Lieutenant mess around. I guess I could have attacked to see if they chump block, but there's no way they do, because they don't win the game by chump blocking. But hitting the land there is huge for us, because, look, I use 2 mana to Izzet Charm away the blocker. I get to get in for 4. Now I get a Brazen Borrower away. Whatever the next thing they play is, and it's this Gideon. That's actually pretty annoying, I guess. The Gideon prevents my Bonecrusher Giant from doing any damage. So be it. Well, that is not the permanent I was hoping they would play on turn 3, but honestly, it's still fine, because now the Phoenixes begin. And, well, I'll say, and we get to attack. It does no damage, but look, if you were a long-time viewer of Mighty Modern or Punting Pioneer, you know that attacking, it's never about the damage, but it is always about the message. And it's just Gideon coming back down. This is fine. So what happened there is our opponent essentially, well, okay, Sky Tether. Our opponent essentially used Gideon as a 3-mana fog there, and they got half our Brazen Borrower or whatever out of the deal. But look how bad this is for our opponent right now. This is just disastrous for them. I say that. I say it's disastrous for them as I pass the turn doing nothing, but really, I think it kind of is, because, excuse me, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to let them do whatever the heck they want on their turn, and then on their end step, I'm going to use this Elder Deep-Fiend to sacrifice the Rekindling Phoenix, pay 4. I'm going to tap down whatever the heck they think they're about to play. And then I'm going to attack them for 9 damage or something absurd. And they probably feel fine about this, right? If you're on their side, Gideon, Sky Tether. Sky Tether's a nice 1-mana answer. Locking down the board. Now I get to run this Vanquisher's Banners out onto a clean board. It resolved. They're probably feeling great. I don't know how you're supposed to play around the Elder Deep-Fiend, though. You know what? I actually had more mana. I didn't even need it all, but this is fine. So, I mean, what? I guess I'll tap their stuff. We'll tap the Gideon. Sure, why not? All right, so here you see we get an elemental token that will bring back target card named Rekindling Phoenix. So what's actually also cool is the original Rekindling Phoenix could be exiled even, but as long as we have this token, you can get back a target Rekindling Phoenix. All right, we'll lose our mana here. This is all perfectly fine. Our opponent is just really, really in trouble because, look, we get back the Phoenix. I mean, I get to draw other cards. I just get to play a second Phoenix even. Should I want to, as a matter of fact? I don't even know if I do, to be honest. What I'm definitely going to do, though, is send this Rekindling Phoenix at my opponent. The Elder Deep-Fiend at the Gideon. Put them down to 12. Remove the fog machine that is Gideon. And honestly, probably just pass the turn here. I could play another Phoenix, but why? I mean, I'm not even scared of, say, a Wrath of God or whatever here. But I have Brazen Borrower up in there at 12, and we have, in fact, 13 points of power in play. So let's just see if we get a free roll just bouncing what they do here. And I mean, you know what? It's even dumber than that, I guess, actually. We just have another Elder Deep-Fiend. By the way, this card isn't legendary. I'm overthinking this by a lot. All we have to do is do the same trick. Throw the Rekindling Phoenix. Gosh. What a disaster for my opponent. Sky Tether, it looks a little silly, but I'm here to tell you, this is a legitimate card. It's basically 1 mana, your creature doesn't do anything. However, I just don't know what you're supposed to do when we have Elder Deep-Fiends to just, kind of just go to town here, right? I will cast this one with Emerge. It's just so painful for my opponent. I'll pay the 1 here. And we will tap these things down. All right, is this hit lethal? No, I think we're coming in for 10 here, so not lethal. 9. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. It is lethal. We have we lost 1 Elder Deep-Fiend, but we gained another, so I guess that'll do it. That is the match. That is how you just trounce people with Emerge Phoenixes. Phoenixes emerge. Eldrazi emerge from Phoenixes. I don't know the title. It's Phoenix Emerge. Is it Emerge? Welcome to Punting Pioneer, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. That was an incredible match. Let's jump right into the next one. All right, this one looks like a keeper as well to me. Bonecrusher Giant just does so much work, doesn't it? It feels a little weird sometimes. You see Bonecrusher Giant, a standard card. And, well, I mean, I guess that's not so weird anymore. But the point is you see the Bonecrusher Giant in a lot of Pioneer lists, and you say, well, it's just kind of medium, right? Like, no one wants to pay 2 mana for a shock, and, 3 mana for a 4/3, even with an upside ability, is kind of below curve these days. But it just cleans your curve up. Look at this. We get to shock down this Knight of the Ebon Legion. And then we get to have our turn 3 play just lined up for us. And Knight of the Ebon Legion is a pretty important one to kill. Now, obviously, we gain a lot by being on the play here. That's how, any of these formats work, is our opponent is on mono black, though. One of the better decks in the format. But let's see if we can get into the air, right? I think that's our game plan here. Just go higher. Just fly over their heads. All right, play our Bonecrusher and pass the turn here. But yeah, we get a Rekindling Phoenix next turn, and then double Stitchwing Skaab. So the thing is, sorry, my opponent's chatting. My opponent, by the way, is a very competent Merfolk player. I recognized their name when we got into this match, so shout out to them. They're like, I smell some Elder Deep-Fiends. Well, you know what? I can't tell you you're wrong. You definitely do smell some Elder Deep-Fiends. It's vampires, though. It's mono black vampires from our opponent. Getting lifelink onto these things with Sorin is actually pretty good. So I can't even kill the Sorin here, which is pretty annoying. powerful Planeswalker. 3 mana goes up to 5 loyalty. It's okay, though. We have good cards of our own, like this Rekindling Phoenix. Have fun Doomblading that one. I guess these days it would be... it wouldn't even be Eliminate, right? That's CMC 3 or less. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the... My opponent says, yep, definitely Elder Deep-Fiends. Alright, this is going to be a fun match, so I don't know what the Vampires match is like. I do know that this Sorin is very annoying. My opponent's going to need some exile effects. That's a Vampire, too, as well as an Aetherborn. Okay, yeah, we're going to want some of those board wipes in the sideboard if we have any. We're going to want the Glorybringers. I mean, we don't play Anger of the Gods in our sideboard, obviously, because we have all these 3 toughness creatures. We want to go to the graveyard. But look, even here, Rekindling Phoenix, stonewalling a Death Touch lifelinker, because it would just be an attack to gain 2 life for my opponent. It wouldn't do anything. But it opens the door for me to kill Sorin. As you know what? I'll send this at my opponent too. Why not? Let's keep the pressure on. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but let's try to keep the pressure on. I do know that just simply slamming Rekindling Phoenixes is a proven strategy. We took our opponent's Planeswalker off the board. We got rid of their Gifted Aetherborn, which is a nice creature to be rid of. It's death-touching, life-linking. And now we have 2 more flyers with long-term value. We've got removal in the form of the Izzet Charms. It's a nice attack coming in from my opponent here, or not. They activated the wrong Mutavault. Yeah, I really wish Magic Online would just fix that, where you could not activate the Summoning Sick Mutavault. That's really rough for them, actually. They wanted to swing. They would have gotten in... My opponent says, activated the wrong vault. Yeah, I do that all the time. But it would have been great for them, actually. They were going to swing out. I was going to eat probably the Mutavault, but they would have got their damage in to pump this thing. Which probably would have been pretty good for them, given that now I can kill it. But here's actually what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to loot with the Izzet Charm here. Hope to find a land, and unfortunately we did not find a land. But I probably still just pitched a Rekindling Phoenix here. And you know what? This way we get to keep open a Stubborn Denial, or I suppose we get to keep this open and up on their end step, but... I'll just be getting this Flamewake Phoenix back and swinging in for 10. I mean, this is a real thing, right? Our opponent had, honestly, a good draw, but we were just on the play. We just played Rekindling Phoenixes. Now we're attacking for 10 in the air, and our opponent is at a lifelink. This game's got a long way to go, clearly. Right? Our opponent has some powerful cards in play. Mutavault, Knight of the Ebon Legion, Politis... These are some good cards. It has lifelink. However, if we can figure out a way to deal with this thing, we still have a lot of damage in the air. And even still, we might be able to win this race. We'll see. We're down to 12, but here's a Steam Vents. A lot on the table right now. I have 10 damage as it stands. Could Izzet Charm try to draw 2 Flamewake Phoenixes and win? I play this tapped. 4 mana should be enough for whatever we choose to do here, one way or another. I think I get in for 10, and then we just try to chump block this thing. Or do I even have, do I even have it? What if I just swung with 1 with these, and I get in for 6, put them to 7? Does that change it? I don't think so. I think we have to get in with the team. The problem is they get 4 power here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count 12, as it turns out. But this is still, I think, okay because of this reason. Look, we're going to get in for 12 points of damage. Or, I'm sorry, 10 points of damage. Put our opponent down to 3. Now, I'm going to play the Champion of Wits, I think? It's that or the Skaab. The Champion of Wits is probably the better play here. I suppose I probably should have done this main phase. Not that it matters much. We'll get rid of a Skaab. And honestly, I guess the Izzet Charm, it's not that important at this point. And we'll pass the turn back. So here's the thing. Our opponent is in a position to do strong things this game. However, I believe that I'm going to be able to chump block and survive. And even if they were to say have removal, I have the Stubborn Denial to protect the team. I think my math checks out here, but we're going to find out. This is the biggest one. That's 4, 7, 10, 12. I see. We appear to be exactly dead. Very nicely played by my opponent. Or not. Did they not have it? Did I miscount? I guess we win. I think they had... What if they just pay 3 mana to sacrifice the creature I blocked and get the extra 2 points they need here? Did I miss something? Maybe not. Maybe we just got a break. I will take it, though. You take those too, as they say. All right, we want the Magma Sprays in here. The Glorybringers in here. Oops. What do we not want? I think the Stitchwing Skaabs are actually reasonable here. Brazen Borrowers are... I mean, you don't really want to pay 2 mana to bounce necessarily. I mean, the Stubborn Denials are actually pretty solid, but we only have so much room here, right? Some things, they must be cut. Stubborn Denial, at least... look, obviously they have removal in their deck, but I'm not really trying to Stubborn Denial Fatal Pushes. I'm more interested in getting, say, the Sorens of the world, that sort of thing. On the draw, though, here, I don't know. We also have the plan of just having removal, right? I don't know. I think our deck has a lot of ways to kind of deal with the straightforwardness of a mono black aggro deck. Obviously, they have, their own reach and their own tools and all these crazy things they can do. But I think we line up okay. And we're going to put that to the test here with these Elder Deep-Fiends. I think the card is bonkers in the matchup, so I'm going to keep this hand. I could be wrong, of course. And here comes the old Thoughtseize, so... you probably hit the Bonecrusher Giant, frankly. Yeah, that's fine. This is all about speed. Our opponent mulliganed to 6, which means now they have 4 cards in their hand, and that's just not a lot. Now, we are going nowhere, and we're going there fast, but we're going to turn the corner, say, around turn 4 or 5, where we start turning these Flamewake Phoenixes into Elder Deep-Fiends, and our opponent having a non-aggressive draw, frankly, kind of devastating for them, as we're doing nothing and they're doing nothing, but that's good for us and not for them, because we have the Eldrazi in our hand. And no, it's not the Emrakul, Kozilek, Ulamog Eldrazi you're thinking of, but it is an Eldrazi, and typically if you're the deck with the Eldrazi, you want the game to go long, and that certainly holds here. My opponent has got to be up against it with a bunch of reactive cards, removal, half of the deck, something, to just be coming in with a Mutavault right there. Into open mana, I might add. But we're going to find out, because you know what? They don't even have Revolt to kill this thing with a Fatal Push if they do have it. This has to attack. It makes it nice and easy for me. And look at this. The beatdown begins. By the way, Rekindling Phoenix has joined the party. There's so much recursion. Now, Kalitas is a problem. And our opponent knows we have the Elder Deep-Fiends. And Glorybringer is not a bad answer, though. Assuming we can come up with, another piece of mana here. Let's get in. I'm going to take a shot here with just playing the Phoenix and see what happens. It's very good against our opponent. They are likely all in on Kalitas. The thing is, I think we can beat Kalitas. I mean, what's it going to do here? Swing? I'm going to take 3? Who cares? The real problem, of course, is if they follow it up with a bunch of removal, as it does exile our creatures here, which is, in fact, very powerful against both of these. So we'll see what the line is. If we hit land, we can try to Glorybringer this thing. And that's where we're at. So cross your fingers right now for the land for the Glorybringer here, the untapped land, as a matter of fact. Not quite. Hard to be upset with that one, though. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking this through here. I guess we just have to start Elder Deep-Fiending every chance we get and swinging for 6. If my opponent had removal, they would have used it. So you know what? Let's just cast Elder Deep-Fiends for 3 turns in a row until the game ends or whatever, right? That was really the turn. They untapped with Kalitas, and if you have a couple pieces of removal there and you just start exiling my recurring creatures, then your Kalitas looks really good. But obviously, if you don't, you let us do this, and now you're just never going to get to attack with the thing. I mean, look, this is going to go away forever if I do this. Maybe we let him attack first. Alright, thinking this through. I kind of just want to block the Knight of the Ebon Legion, but frankly, the correct answer is probably to block nothing this turn and attempt to kill them. Because look, Elder Deep-Fiend and 6 power and flying, that's lethal. That's 11 points of damage. I can tap down their permanents, by the way. It's a Champion of Dust. Game's just over. I think. If they take enough, they're down to 12. Oh, I have 11 points, but you know what? We still get there because we have the Flamewake Phoenix to follow up, right? 9. Oh, that's 11. We only have 11 points right now. But you know what? We still have to make the play, because the thing is, if we hit the Glorybringer, we still just win. Alright, well, we'll see what happens here. We might lose this race, but land? Land or Bonecrusher Giant? Land does it, alright. That was unnecessarily stressful. I'll say that. Get in there with the team. That's 13 points of damage. That was a very close matchup. Well played by our opponent, but a great win for this deck. You can see the power of Elder Deep-Fiend and Pioneer right there. That was a great one, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let's see if we can close it out with a win here if we pull off the 3-0. Well, every hand we get tonight is just all Bone Crushers all the time, I guess. And you know what? That's okay with me. The Wandering Fumarole. Got the Bonecrushers. Got a Flamewake Phoenix. Got a Stitchwing Skaab. We've got removal. We've got evasive threats. We have recursive threats. And we have card advantage. Just all in these couple cards right here. This deck is very fun. Our opponent, some of those cool Zendikar Rising lands out here. I don't know if I've talked about it on this stream or not, but I've certainly talked about it on my podcast, Brainstorm Brewery, or the streaming we do for that on Mondays at our YouTube channel. But I love this mechanic. I did not love it as a dual land cycle. When they first previewed it and we saw these cards first, I was like, they're worse than so many other cycles of duels. But so I don't love it as, a dual land cycle sort of mechanic, but as a game mechanic, you start putting it on the back of spells. Now we're talking about eliminating Flood, eliminating Screw, giving people the ability to just smooth out their deck a little bit to eliminate some of the frustrations of Magic, in addition to being really cool and I think mostly balanced cards. I love Zendikar Rising, outside of, Omnath, but that is what it is, right? All right, well, we'll pass the turn here. Our opponent, blue, white, green, so Bant something. We have the Lightning Axe at instant speed to discard, I guess probably the Stitchwing Skaab. Maybe not, though. I don't know, that's not the worst, right? We have extra lands. If I just pitch this Stitchwing Skaab to Lightning Axe here to blow something up, and then, on my next turn, discard a Flamewake Phoenix and bring, oh, it's an Uro. I don't know if I have a good plan for this. Temple of Scry Enlightenment, you say. Alright, well. Things Lightning Axe does well, a lot. Things it does not do well, kill an Uro when it comes back. It's never fun to deal with. Well, alright. Guess it is what it is. I'm just going to cast this thing. We clearly just need to kill our opponent, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to play a 4-3. It's the biggest threat I can play this turn. And the next turn I'm going to attempt to follow it up. And we're just going to try to kill our opponent through the air before this Uro becomes overwhelming, which it tends to do pretty quickly. Felidar Retreat, you say. Also a good card. Well, so much for getting in there with a Bonecrusher Giant, I guess. I say that. I could Lightning Axe it, right? I could Izzet Charm. I could do so many things here. Actually, what if I Izzet Charmed here? But the first thing I did was just Izzet Charm. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to use it to kill that. All right, well, I mean, I guess here we go. This is where we're at. We get to, and it's not even the worst, right? We get to bring back the Flamewake Phoenix here. We get a swing for 6. Our opponent might chump block, but if they chump block, that's probably good for us. All right. Well, the good news, I guess, if you want to look at it that way, is our opponent hasn't done anything to make the Uro threat appear any sooner. We were able to get in some damage. I mean, if they want to race Felidar with this Felidar retreat, I guess that's reasonable. We have some good tools in the race category. The reality is, I guess, I have no idea. My opponent's just playing some kind of Bant pile, right? It's a Bant Uro Omnath pile. If I had to guess, there might even be 4 colors in there. We'll see. It is standard. Hydroid Crisis for 3. I guess it's old standard. All right, well, here it is. They're going to put counters, give these things vigilance. This is going to get out of control very quickly, I think. But I don't think trying to kill cat tokens is the answer either. So maybe a tough matchup here. Our deck very good against removal. Less good against our opponent just ramping things. That said, we'll give it the good old college try here. Well, couple options. We can just... I mean, we probably have to Lightning Axe this thing, but maybe I Izzet Charm first. Look, we have to try to get this game by spamming out Flamewake Phoenix or something, right? Like, we have to do something kind of broken, I think, to win this one. So that's what I was attempting to do anyways. Okay, well, attack with both before damage, I guess. We will Lightning Axe this thing. I guess we pitch the Bonecrusher, not that that feels particularly good. I mean, actually, I think all of our options here are pretty bad if my opponent blocks, because then our Stubborn Denial just becomes a 4 spike too. This probably wasn't the best line. However, it does allow us to bring back the Stitchwing Skaab, which is kind of what I was thinking, just taking to the air. I don't, I think we're far enough behind that we basically wanted to try to, cheese some Flamewake Phoenixes off of that Izzet Charm there. I don't think just tapping out and playing a Rekindling Phoenix or whatever was going to work. Our opponent's just going to race that. That said, I don't know if anything's going to work. This is a pretty straightforward game for the ramp deck. You play out your lands, and our deck is not fast. Our deck is good, but it is not fast. It can turn the corner kind of quick, but it's this deck kills people on turn 5, 6, or 7, and it's pretty good at doing that. What it is not good at doing is stopping your opponent from just playing all of the cards that got banned in Standard and ramping up to 1 billion mana and popping off with Felidar Retreat here. I mean, this game, frankly, is just over. I can't beat them making multiple tokens like this. We just don't have outs. All right, GG. I mean, I guess the out is like drawing, we draw into a bunch of Elder Deep-Fiends, but we weren't getting there. That arrow was coming back. All right. Let's try this thing again. And I don't know what the answer is. The answer is probably... I have no idea what they're going to play. It's just Bant stuff, and it's all good against me. Well, Kozilek's returns are okay if they pop off with the enchantment again. Let's see here. Something like this, maybe? Like, I have no idea if we're just supposed to max out an Aether Gust. The thing is, I feel like we're the beatdown, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, of course, I'm referring to the famous Mike Flores article from 20 years ago, but who's the beatdown? Who wins if the game goes long? If the game is on turn 10, is that good or bad for me? It's bad for me, I think. We're not going to beat Uro on turn 10. We're not going to beat a ramp deck on turn 10, which makes us the beatdown. We're not a beatdown deck, but that is the role we have been forced to assume in this matchup if we want to win as we mulligan down here. And, you know, that makes it hard, right? That makes it hard to sideboard because we simply don't know what it is that we're supposed to be doing, right? Am I supposed to do cheeky stuff like sideboard in Magma Spray so when my opponent plays Uro, I can hit the Uro with a Magma Spray with the sack ability on the sack so it gets exiled? We could play reactive like that. I don't think that's going to win us the game, though. I think we just have to be the beatdown. And, you know, unfortunately, we were forced to mulligan, and we can't really not keep this hand of 6. It was good, but it's not the kind of hand we want in the matchup. Obviously, we need some amount of Aether Gust and things like that, but, you know, there's an upper bound to how many of those you want to draw. Especially as we need, you know, we need threats. And here it is, turn 4, and nothing has happened. Well, turn 3, I suppose. All right, probably not even an Uro for my opponent here. Okay. And they're going to have mystical disputes. This is just all going to be problematic, frankly. They're going to have their own Aether Gusts. But you know what? It is what it is. Let's play our Phoenix, and maybe we just get lucky, right? Maybe they don't have a counter spell. They have removal. And removal's not very good against Rekindling Phoenix. As long as they don't do anything just absurd here on turn 4, which, I mean, I guess absurd, probably, they just Brazen Borrower us. Yeah, there you go. Petty Theft the Rekindling Phoenix and then cast a Felidar Retreat. We're going to be in trouble. That's a tough one to beat. These new cards, and I guess in this case it's mostly Uro over there, but there's a reason they call these decks Uro piles now. It's just a pile of cards that all are good. They just delay the game. They answer things. They're threats. They just make the game continue until your Uro takes over, escaping it. That's how these decks tend to work. All right. It is what it is, I guess. Let's run out of Rekindling Phoenix again. Rekindling Phoenix is at least decent against Brazen Borrower once it's in play anyways. So we do have some things looking up, though, right? Our opponent is, well, you know, they're not ahead on board yet, despite everything. It's turn 5. Now I have the ability to play an Elder Deep-Fiend, getting rid of Rekindling Phoenix, getting it back, having an Elder Deep-Fiend next turn, and getting to sacrifice a Sanctum of Ugin to go get another Elder Deep-Fiend. Now, the Fairy's a pretty decent one against the old Rekindling Phoenix here. Yeah, this is all bad for us, right? The game just continues. It just goes, it just goes, it just goes, and there's a Scavenging Ooze. At this point, we're just going to be... here's a nice thing. When you cast a spell, tap up to 4 permanents, regardless of whether or not you emerged it. We're currently at 6 mana. 7 allows us to emerge it. But heck, 8, we can just cast it. That's where we're trying to get to here. So, all right, I think the play is going to be... play the Rekindling Phoenix here. Pass the turn. Oh gosh, there's a Teferi. Pass the turn, use the Aether Gust. It turns out, y'all, there is a Teferi, and Teferi is just as dumb as it was when it was printed, and that means I can't do this. Not that it really matters. It wouldn't have changed anything I did, but also not being able to cast Elder Deep-Fiends on their turn is pretty annoying. You know, I wonder if on that turn it might have actually been correct to just fire up a Fumarole and just get in there at the Teferi. Try to get it out of play. That might have been better. This all seems incredibly unbeatable for us. No matter how you... If we look, and the thing is, we take that play, I spend my entire turn to remove a Teferi that has already bounced my 4 mana play, which they've now done 3 times. It would have bounced my 4 mana play, drawn them a card, and then eaten up another 5 of my mana. That's insane. We would have never come back from that regardless. So it's just a pile of cards that I think we can't beat. All right, there we go. You know what, though? This is actually a start. This is a real start here because the Flamewake Phoenix is huge right now. We're going to take down the Teferi. This game might not be over. And then in their upkeep, I can try to tap down all their permanents. The thing is, though, maybe not, because... Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to play this Rekindling Phoenix again. You can't stop me. I actually don't. I realize I don't want an Elder Deep-Fiend there because I really want to be able to deal with this scavenging ooze first. It can't be good if my opponent's eating their own arrows. I want to Aether Gust the. What happens is I hope that this turn we get to survive somewhat intact. The next turn we get to pass the turn back, and then run out an Elder Deep-Fiend with Aether Gust the Skoos, then Elder Deep-Fiend away the Rekindling Phoenix on the incept so that it comes back and we have a bigger swing. That's what we're going to try to do. Felidar Retreat is a very powerful card. I'm not even mad. They already did the retreat cycle in Battle for Zendikar. I liked it. It was cool. You have the Knight of the Reliquary combo with Retreat to Koraham. It's neat, but this one is pretty powerful. I think this Rekindling Phoenix is about to be bounced for the 4th time, by the way. All right, well, as it stands, we can still get the Teferi, I guess. Despite everything, the game continues. Land? Not a land. Not the worst, though. All right, so we'll play this, and we'll send one at them, one at the Teferi. They get 27 life right now. What the heck? The Euros. The Euros, I tell you. All right, well, you know what? This might not even be the correct... At this point, this probably isn't the correct play. But it's about principle, okay? I'm playing this Rekindling Phoenix for the 5th time. And if my opponent can bounce it again, good for them. But anything else, I'm counting as a win, I gotta say. We might lose the game, but we will win the battle of this Rekindling Phoenix. If my opponent would ever run out of gas, I don't even think we can beat lands. Felidar Retreat is so good. Put a 1/1 counter, not just till end of turn, a counter on each creature you control. And then they gain vigilance. And it is just as silly as you think in multiple. So this is cool. I'm not playing this deck. Obviously, I've never played Felidar Retreat in my life. Don't know if I ever will. But I do like that it's getting its time to shine here on Punting Pioneer. I like to see cool decks do cool things, whether it's my deck or not. And it's hard to call an Uro pile a cool deck, but I do like Felidar Retreat. This game's just over, though, right? This is ridiculous. Yeah, we're just dead. Are you kidding me? Good for you, friend. That was really something. I guess I can attempt to beat this with an Elder Deep-Fiend, though. I take 13. I go to 2. I guess I should... Well, no, I shouldn't block with the... I say that. I should have blocked, actually. They don't have green mana open. I could have got... I don't think that's going to matter, though, right? All right, that's a Glorybringer. Also not exactly what we're looking for, but... hey, the game continues, right? Let's get in there with this. My opponent's obviously going to Brazen Borrower to block 1, or not. They don't even care. All right, then. I guess let's pass the turn. Look, if they have counterspells, they have counterspells, I suppose. But who knows? Maybe I can just tap down their creatures for the next 2 turns. Right? If they just have nothing, and they get greedy and play their lands pre-combat or something. I mean, look, they're clearly ahead here, but we're hanging around. First things first, we hit the Scavenging Ooze with the Aether Gust. I mean, this is still pretty bad for us. They have 3 mana. They're still going to be able to eat our... I really wanted to do that on the end step, but it doesn't quite work out that way. We'll cast this thing with Emerge here. Stack of Flamewake. Hey, you know what I can do? Actually, look at this. Look at this. I can tap down their green sources. Are we finding a way to make this happen? Maybe. Maybe we are. The Sanctum of Ugin is going to be the difference maker if it works. Let's go get another Elder Deep-Fiend. And now we get to resolve this one. And keep in mind, this is the beginning of their combat. So I think that means that the Scavenging Ooze is just, not going to be able to make use of that mana. And we took down, yeah, they're just going to flash in a Brazen Borrower, which, by the way, we can tap down. We're going to hit them for a lot if they don't have a forest in their hand. You know, no forest in hand for them. I think we can win this game. I could be wrong, I guess. I mean, we're at 2. This land is going to make them 2 tokens, which actually means there's 5 things we have to block next turn, although that's possible, I guess. You know, maybe taking that extra damage might be coming back to haunt us a little bit. Should have done a green source count. It's okay, though. This might still work. Because this Elder Deep-Fiend gets the block, obviously, right? So let's see if they continue to add to the board. They do with a Hydroid Krasis. Well, I don't think we were beating that one. So perhaps a moot point regardless. I mean, I can Glorybringer here. Get in with the Glorybringer and kill this thing. So then the Glorybringer costs 5. They only have 1 left. That'll do it. GG's. Well, everybody, let's go check out this deck. I mean, look, I already don't love to make changes to decks I just pick up. So when I look at this deck, would I make any changes? I mean, it's easy to say no. Look, frankly, I think I would probably take one of the Kozilek's returns out in exchange for another Charter Course or another Izzet Charm or another Champion. It's just something that is... I understand how important the Kozilek's returns are, given that you can fall behind early. But, I mean, that's what the sideboard's for. And this deck probably does want a sweeper in the sideboard. I don't know if that sweeper is necessarily Anger of the Gods, but Anger of the Gods is fine. You're going to play the Anger of the Gods and then play your creatures. It's a reasonable addition to the sideboard, because you can see we probably wanted some sort of board wipe there, right, for all those tokens. So I don't know. If you're looking at anything here, maybe you can, you know, shave a Kozilek's return from the main deck and add another piece of setup or something. But this deck, when it had time to do its thing, it was incredible. I loved this deck in Pioneer. So I know Pioneer is really static in the sense that it's all Uro piles these days, or the best standard cards are the best Pioneer cards. And I get it. I understand. You know, I've been playing a lot of Historic myself. Pioneer and Historic are both overrun by standard cards right now. It's just the way things are. It's not going to last forever. I understand the frustrations, but I had a lot of fun playing Pioneer this week, and I had a lot of fun playing this deck. So everybody, thank you so much, as always, for watching. I'm Corbin Hosler, as always, for Cool Stuff. I'll see you next time.